Have you ever said this sentence? Things were better in the old days. Songs from 10 years ago were better than today's songs. Summers when we were kids felt brighter than this year's summer. Even food from the same restaurant seems to taste less delicious every year. But the truth is, it's a lot stranger than that. The past wasn't actually better. It's just that your brain rewrites it. Psychologists call this phenomenon Rosy Retrospection, seeing the past through rose-colored glasses. In 1997, Terrence Mitchell, a researcher from the University of Washington, followed a group of people who were about to go on vacation. He asked them about their feelings 3 times. Before the trip, during the trip, and after they got back. The result completely changed what you might think. During the actual trip, those people complained. There was traffic, it rained, and friends argued with each other. But just a few weeks after coming home, their memories became more and more beautiful. Where did all the annoying stuff go? Your brain deletes them. There's a mechanism quietly working in your head right now. A researcher named Richard Walker calls it the trading effect bias. The principle's really simple. Negative emotions from memories fade faster than positive ones. The pain from 10 years ago, now you barely feel anything. But the little happiness from that day still feels warm inside. Your brain doesn't record the past like a video camera. It's more like an editor, gradually cutting out the painful scenes and keeping the beautiful ones. Why does it do this? Because our ancestors who only remembered pain were too afraid to hunt, too afraid to try new things, too afraid to start over. The ones who survived were those whose brains allowed them to forget the pain and move forward. You are the descendants of the best forgetters, but the story gets even stranger than that. Think about the period in your life that you remember most clearly. How old were you then? If you're over 30, the answer is usually your teenage years to your early 20s. David Rubin, a researcher from Duke University, discovered something called the reminiscence bump. He found that people generally remember events from ages 10 to 30 much more vividly than from any other period. The song you think is the best ever is usually a song you loved when you were 15. The best movie ever was probably one you saw when you were 20. The best time of your life just happens to coincide with the period when your brain records everything most vividly. It's not that those years were actually better. It's the time when your identity was being formed. Everything was happening for the first time. Your first love, your first taste of freedom, the first song that truly moved you. The brain gives special weight to first experiences. And there's another layer to this. Laura Carstensen, a psychologist from Stanford, found that as you get older, your brain becomes more biased toward positive memories. She calls this the positivity effect. When the future starts to feel shorter, the brain chooses to focus on the good things. It's not a decline, it's a psychological survival strategy. That's why your grandparents always tell you the good stories from the past. It's not because they never had hardships in their past, but because their brains choose to hold on only to the light. Try thinking about what's happening right now. As you're living your life today, you experience everything fully, the good and the bad, the traffic jams, the work piling up, the messages you haven't replied to yet. The present comes at you unedited. But the past has already been edited by the editor in your head. That's why the competition is never fair. Today, fighting against a past that's been polished to perfection, there's no way to win. The old days were better isn't really a truth about time, it's a truth about memory. And what about you? How will you look back on today 10 years from now? This ordinary day you think is boring, the day with traffic jams, piles of work, and unanswered messages, today is the very day your brain is starting to turn into those good old days. Right now, you're living in the moment that your future self will miss the most. So the next time you hear yourself say, things were better back then, remember, the past wasn't really better. Your brain just loves you enough to keep only the beautiful parts.